Starfield just got its biggest info drop to date. We gotta go over the massive QA that just happened. We also have a bunch of news around the game going gold as well as some other major news around all the details of launch, and some new official screenshots that give away a ton of new information. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, World Stripper? Back into the video. I'm checking out all things Starfield. Okay, so let's just jump right into the QA. I'm gonna go over the major details with that. Now, this Q&A was hosted on the official Discord for Starfield, which was hosted by Will and Emil. Now, we also had one of the biggest confirmations to date, and that is that we can buy player housing in the main cities. Now, we had a reply here from Will who said, yep, there's housing in different cities that the player can get. Some you have to purchase, and some are rewards for specific quests. Emil also replied saying, sure you can purchase a dwelling in all the major cities in the game, and there's at least one that you can get specifically for completing something. So it does look like we finally got the player housing confirmed, and I mean, from older games, Skyrim and Oblivion, there was always player housing. However, it's nice to have a confirmation there that we'll get that in this game as well. It will be kind of cool to see if you can maybe even teleport between the few, or even have something in your house that allows you to do that. Essentially, you could go from different planets and give you a faster route there. We'll have to wait and see on some of the complexities with that. I do hope it's as good or even better than what Skyrim or Oblivion offered. Now, just like in the Fallout games, our parents will actually look like us. However, this only applies if you take the kid trait. So Will did respond here saying, our programmers on our new face tech were excited to make a function that could try to match your custom face and then create your two parents. So they're based on what your character looks like, although the specific math involved is a bit beyond me. We had similar tech in our previous game. Emil also replied saying, yes, totally, as we did in Fallout 3 with your dad, and in Fallout 4 with your son. In Starfield, if you take the kid trait, your parents are based off you. He also concluded here saying, no spoilers, but I think our fans would really appreciate the actors we got to play those roles. Really cool to see that they're reiterating on the tech and not just taking anything away, because honestly, it sounds like Starfield is such a big game. The worry is that will there be functionality from previous games? Whereas if you notice, a lot of the AAA development and a lot of the newer games lack the quality of life stuff from their older predecessors. But so far, it seems like Bethesda is keeping up that quality from their older Elder Scrolls and Fallout titles, which is really good to hear. I hope it just keeps the same quality of life, if not improve on that. They also got asked about the jail system, if there was anything that was going on with that, and they said yes, you can elect to either pay the fine or you will end up in jail. And Emil did also respond here saying, yep, the settled systems is more like Skyrim than it is Fallout 4's Commonwealth in that regard. I'm sure it'll just be like older games, but it's better than whatever Cyberpunk gave us on launch. So someone asked a really interesting question here. Will time pass when not in the game? For example, will my trade routes, outpost, and mining operations continue to produce, or does that occur only while I'm playing the game? Emil responded saying, the sim only runs when you're actively playing, no sleeping on the job. Will also responded saying, yep, only when actively playing. So that's a lot of stuff going on with the sim there, although I guess it could be calculated fairly easy based on time structure, although I'm sure people wouldn't always want that to be on. Someone also did ask for a pacifist mode or a peaceful mode. Will did respond saying, I can't guarantee every mission can be completed that way, but we do have a couple systems that will help with that. It seems like there's going to be similar persuasion methods to BG3. Emil also did respond to this with a little bit more context, but essentially he just said that it wasn't really feasible. They tried to do it, but they couldn't really get that done. So they figured that they would just try to make some of the missions do it, or most of the missions that you can be that way, but there will be some missions that you won't be able to play in that manner. Now this one's also really interesting. How many companions in total will we be able to recruit? Will said there are over 20 named characters who can join your crew. 4 of them are directly from the constellation and have most of the story that interact with the player. So it seems like the other 16 maybe don't have so much backstory and they're just like kind of like helping you. So it seems like 4 are going to be fully kind of voiced, have that nice little backstory, a bunch of stuff there. There's probably a ton of like side missions and quests with that. We also have some Steam news and that stuff on the preloading. So Starfield is actually ranked number 2 for most anticipated game launching on Steam with over 350,000 followers. I'm sure over the next week or so that number is going to pick up drastically, especially once we get closer to launch. A lot of people are still playing games like BG3, and so the attention is not really there yet. We also got that major news with it going gold. And with Starfield officially going gold, the preload actually did get announced as well. And so starting tomorrow, you will actually be able to preload the game on your Xbox or even Windows PC. However, if you did buy the game or wanted the game through Steam, you won't get the preload until August 30th. I'm probably more than likely going to get it through the Windows Store, as it's more than likely going to make you sign into an Xbox Live account anyways. I get that people like to have their games on Steam, but I might as well just get it on the Windows Store. That way I only have to log into one application. And also having the early preload is nice for me since my internet isn't the best. Now it looks like the game size has also been confirmed with this going gold. It has been officially updated on the Windows and Xbox platform or the Microsoft Store. and the install size is at 139 gigabytes. So yeah, this is a really big game. With BG3 and now this game, these are going to be two huge games. It might be rough for some people to clear up that much storage because there is a lot needed, especially over these next few weeks. We got BG3 now, we have Armored Core 6 in a few weeks, and then we also have Starfield right after that. Yeah, there's a lot of games coming out, so if you need to sort out your hard drive stuff early on, I'd probably do it now. Next up, we do have those official screenshots and some stuff that was taken from the trailer. And there's a Reddit user that pointed out in some of the B-roll for one of the trailers, Pluto is in the solar system, or in our solar system, and it actually is considered a planet. Kind of a cool little detail there, and yeah, I always as a kid grew up that Pluto was a planet, and so I still consider it one. Maybe it is, or maybe it isn't, but it is kind of funny that they put this in the game. Nobody was expecting, but we're all fine with. Adam Savage actually did a video on Starfield, and he was building a starship. It's a cool little neat video here. I haven't watched the entire thing yet, but I'll link down to it because it does look pretty cool. And honestly, anything Starfield I'm pretty hyped for, and even if it's like this, or especially when it's like a video from someone like Adam Savage. If you want to check out that video, it's going to be down in the description down below, as well as anything else that I covered today. Now, we did have those official screenshots dropped by the Starfield Twitter, and it basically just showcases the kind of history around Starfield, or at least the events leading up to Starfield, or when this game takes place. There's a bunch of different dates here, and it goes over some of the details around some of the agencies that were existing back then, as well as some of the locations and the locale around some of those planets. It is some pretty cool details here, especially with all the events leading up to where we are now in the game. Also some really cool imagery here with it. There's also a nice little tip here from someone who bought the Constellation Edition and is worried that they're not going to get their game in by September 1st. They don't want to miss out on that date, and they want to have the preload down. And it looks like if you have the Xbox phone app, you can actually download any game remotely, even if you don't own it. So he said what he's going to do is he's going to essentially preload the game from the Xbox app, or queue it up in the Xbox app so that way you have it. And then once you receive the code, you can redeem it, and there should only be a 10 megabyte DLC placeholder there. It's like a little thing that makes it associated with the account, or essentially gives you the license to the game. So yeah, if you did buy the Constellation Edition and you are worried about receiving your physical edition or your physical code, then I would go through this means and download that Xbox app. That way you could pre-download the game as well and have it ready to go for September 1st. Again, all the links for everything should be in the description down below, as well as the Q&A and the full transcript from the Q&A. It was actually quite difficult to get access to some of this stuff. That's why this video kind of took so long. Had to wait for the full transcript to come out, as they didn't give you access to the Q&A section unless you could ask questions in it. Or at least that's what it seems like. There was a lot of confusion there on the Discord getting into that Q&A section. But yeah, now the full transcript is down below. I'll have two different links if you want to go to the Reddit post, or there's one just fully transcript out. That should about cover for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.